Yeah, the White House, as far as we understand, Kelly, is taking a sort of take it or leave it approach, setting that deadline for next week, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. And if Ukraine does not accept this proposal that the U.S. is putting forward, then there will be consequences in the form of halting intelligence sharing from the U.S. to Ukraine, for example, and potentially a halt in some aid that is going to the Ukraine war effort as well. The Russian side, as you mentioned, seems willing to take this up. The Ukrainian side a bit more hesitant. As far as we understand, Vice President Vance spoke with President Zelensky today, and Zelensky said that there is at least a willingness to consider it at this point. This is what's on the table here as part of this 28-point plan. Concessions of land from eastern Ukraine that would become officially Russian territory in the Donbas region, a plan that would limit Ukraine's military in terms of how many people, the personnel. This would also bar Ukraine from entering NATO. The one concession that seems to favor Ukraine is security guarantees from the United States should Russia re-invade. This is what President Trump has said about this just this morning on a radio interview. Take a listen.
They're losing land.
So
we're in it for one thing. We want the killing. You know, they lost 25,000 people last month between the two countries. 25,000 people. He's not looking for more war. Look, he's taking punishment. Say what you want. I mean, this was supposed to be a one-day war that ended 4 years now.
That first part, he was talking about President Zelensky, saying effectively the U.S. only wants a pause in the fighting, a stop permanently to the war and no more bloodshed. The second part, President Trump was referencing President Putin, saying that he's not going to further invade beyond Ukraine once this war stops, which is a big fear among many American allies in Europe, that Putin is not going to stop, that he'll continue into NATO territory if he wins concessions right now. This is what President Zelensky said in an address to the country just this morning, clearly not optimistic about the prospects of this deal.
Now is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Now the pressure on Ukraine is one of the most difficult. Now Ukraine may find itself facing a very difficult choice. Either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner. Either the difficult 28 points or an extremely difficult winter, the most difficult and further risks.
Now, you got a lot of both Republican and Democratic members of Congress, those who we would consider the very pro-Ukrainian members, who really don't like this deal at all either. One said it's a giveaway to Russia. On the other side of that, there are several Republicans who believe that a realistic end to this war, no matter what it looks like, would have to have some element of Ukraine ceding some territory to Russia. So that is the sort of brutal reality, as many Republicans here see it, even though they are hoping for the best outcome for Ukraine. So obviously a difficult situation here. There's no easy answer, and we're going to be monitoring between now and next Thursday, obviously, Kelly, when that deadline comes.
Yeah, well, it appears that is the case. And Joe, it sounds like there are also some new developments when it comes to fresh sanctions potentially on Russia. What's the latest on that front?
Yeah, House member Brian Fitzpatrick, he's a moderate Republican. You'd put him in that very pro-Ukraine camp. He basically told Speaker Johnson days ago that if the Speaker doesn't put a Russian sanctions bill on the floor, that Congressman Fitzpatrick is going to force a vote through a rarely used mechanism. He's now doing that. He's at least starting the process. And there's a lot of support, Democrat and Republican, for this bill, both in the House and in the Senate. It's overwhelmingly supported in the Senate. So that very well may happen in the next couple of days. Those sanctions would punish not just Russia, but countries that buy Russian oil and gas in a significant way, the goal being trying to cut off Russia's revenue source for this war. And it appears that that process has already begun. Again, we expect that those bills will pass easily and be onto President Trump's desk.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.